In a previous video, I went over my thoughts on Worlds of Fun in Kansas City, Missouri, discussing the park's coaster lineup and some of the pros and cons of the park. I also discussed the current rumor of a possible new roller coaster coming to the park in the near future. And while Worlds of Fun does offer a pretty solid overall park experience, there is one other amusement park not far from my home city of Omaha, Nebraska, and that is Adventureland in Altoona, Iowa, just outside of Des Moines. I've only been to this park twice, the first of which was way back in the summer of 2001. I was only 8 and way too scared to get on a roller coaster, or any big thrill ride for that matter. But last summer, I made my return to the park. It was a rather slow day in early June, so I was able to experience all the major coasters with little to no line waiting. I tried to take in as much of the park as I possibly could, since it almost felt like I was experiencing it for the very first time once again. It's a really nice park with a lot of charm to it as well, and some great rides. So today, let's dive in and take a look at it. Welcome to Ejector Airtime, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts on Adventureland Amusement Park. Before we get started, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, as that'll really help against the YouTube algorithm. Adventureland is located in the town of Altoona, Iowa, which is just outside of Des Moines. This park has operated since 1974 and features 50 different rides and attractions, which includes 6 roller coasters. Much like we did for Worlds of Fun, let's take a look at each of the coasters in this lineup. Let's start off with a real oddball in the collection, and that is the Underground. This was built in 1996 by CCI, but it doesn't seem like a roller coaster in the traditional sense of the term. While it features roller coaster track, trains, and lift hills, it does not offer a single drop through the course of the ride. It's more or less gradually coasting along through its layout, around gentle turns, and passing various animatronics and other features. While RCDB does consider it a roller coaster, it's definitely more of a dark ride than anything. And being indoors, it can be a good way to get out of the sun on a particularly hot day in the park. The newest addition is Dragon Slayer, which opened in 2021. This replaced the Hopkins Looper Dragon, which closed in 2019. This is another SNS 40 free spin coaster. However, unlike the ones found across the Six Flags chain, this one features a shorter track length. If you take a look at Dragon Slayer in relation to Joker at Six Flags Great America, you can see the difference in the number of drops. Dragon Slayer also offers 2 different ride experiences. As you enter the queue, it splits into 2 sides. To the right is Squire, which offers a more tame experience, while to the left is Knight, which is free to flip a lot more. I experienced both sides, and it really was like 2 different coasters. I rode Squire's side first and mostly got rocked back and forth, while on the other hand, riding the Knight side, I got flipped pretty wildly. So it is great that they have the option for everyone to pick which side they prefer. Experience both sides and let me know what you think. Tornado is the oldest coaster in the park, dating back to 1978. The name of this coaster is actually pretty significant in the fact that just before the park's grand opening, a tornado hit the park, which forced them to delay the grand opening for a month. When Tornado opened, it was promoted with advertisements that stated, quote, "Another tornado has hit Adventureland." I went into this coaster with a bit of excitement at first, as it was the first I'd ever been on that featured the classic PTC buzz bar restraints, so I was anticipating airtime. This excitement was quickly dampened as I got jackhammered at the bottom of the first drop, and also did not experience any real airtime at all. After another ride closer to the front later on, and experiencing no airtime once again, I decided that was enough Tornado for the day. The other wooden coaster in the park is Outlaw, which opened in 1993. While this was the second coaster ever to be built by CCI, it is often considered to be a GCI prototype, as the main designer of Outlaw would later go on to form GCI, laying the groundwork for future notable wooden coasters such as Lightning Racer, Thunderhead, Prowler, and Mystic Timbers. With a drop of only 67 feet, Outlaw doesn't have the most intense ride ever. Much like Tornado, it does feature the buzz bar restraints. Unlike Tornado, however, Outlaw does manage to offer a less rough ride and at least some airtime. I rode in the last row twice and experienced a small amount of floater going over the drop and on a couple of the dips in the middle of the ride. Definitely not the most exciting wooden coaster ever, but I would recommend this as being a decent first coaster for beginners. Phoenix opened in 2019 and is a spinning coaster by Maurer. This coaster has been cloned around the world and, like every other spinning coaster, offers a ride that's never twice the same. I personally found Spinning Dragons at Worlds of Fun, which is a Gerstlauer spinning coaster, to be more intense than this one, but this was still a fun ride nonetheless. The biggest downside of Phoenix is the capacity. With only 4 riders per car, the line doesn't always move very fast, so this is a good coaster to ride first when entering the park. Finally, the crown jewel of Adventureland is the first Gerstlauer Infinity coaster to be built in America, Monster. Before Monster, Adventureland had gone 20 years without a new coaster, and they surprised a lot of people when this one was announced, myself included. This coaster alone makes Adventureland worth the visit. 133 feet tall, a beyond vertical drop of 101 degrees, a top speed of 65 miles per hour, and 5 inversions, all experienced with nothing but a lap bar. Having that vertical lift hill, you really get whipped over the drop, and those 2-car trains get a lot of hang time on the inversions. As if that weren't enough, the park's chairlift goes right through the center of one of the loops, so you can get great views of the coaster while riding that. It's definitely an elite coaster, and having only experienced 48 coasters at the time of this video, it currently ranks number 9 on my list of favorites. Before moving on, here is a quick list displaying how I would rank the coasters in this park, similar to that of how I did on the Worlds of Fun video. Now let's take a look at the park as a whole. When you enter Adventureland, you're greeted by a train station above the pair of garage doors that serve as the park's entrance, which then lead to a very attractive main street. This is clearly a nod to what it's like walking through the entrance of Disneyland or Magic Kingdom at Disney World. While it may not lead towards a massive castle, it has a nice bit of charm to it and really sets a good impression when first entering the park. Adventureland has a water park connected to it called Adventure Bay. This is included in your admission, but I did not go there on my visit. The variety of water slides do look like a lot of fun though. As for rides in the dry park, the majority of what I saw were mild family rides and kids rides, which is very understandable. I've always seen Adventureland as a great family park. They do have a few great thrill rides in Space Shot, which is an SNS drop tower, Galleon, a swinging pirate ship, Sidewinder, a small swinging frisbee ride, and Storm Chaser, which is basically a wind seeker. There are also a few shows in the park, including a unique light show that takes place in a small circus tent. In the summer of 2021, it felt like a number of the smaller rides were closed, but it turned out some were being prepped to move to different spots of the park, while a few others would end up being removed in the off-season. Another ride that was closed was the Raging River. I was told by a local that this was only for maintenance at the time, but as of now it remains closed and is not even listed on the park map or website due to an accident which occurred just 1 month after my visit. I won't be going into that here, but I will leave a video link in the description if you want to learn about what happened. The park features a variety of places to get your standard park food, but a number of them were closed on my visit, likely because of staffing. I had a platter of fish and chips from a stand called Sam Adams Saloon, which didn't impress me that much. What did please me though was that most drink stands would give you large cups if you asked for water, which are much appreciated when it's a hot day. Worlds of Fun, take notes. Adventureland has been quite active in adding new rides and attractions over the last few years. 3 new coasters in 5 years, and it doesn't look like they plan on stopping there. In December of 2021, it was announced that Adventureland was acquired by Palace Entertainment. This is the same company that operates Idlewild and Kennywood in Pennsylvania. And they've already started to make their presence noticed when it comes to their interest in Adventureland, by adding 9 new attractions for the 2022 season. The park map also displays that there's another new attraction planned for 2023 on a somewhat large plot of land near underground. There's currently no indication of what kind of new attraction this is going to be, so we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. And with the brand new Lost Island theme park not far away in Waterloo, the competition between these 2 parks could really start to pick up. That's going to do it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you've been to Adventureland and what your experience was like, and what you think their next major attraction will be. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to see future videos.